Hello, everyone. I'm back. My
Hold
name's
on.
Sherry.
Let's give some folks some time, Sherry. See if we can get some people lined up here and get them online. But
Give people a chance to join.
to join in, yeah. This 2 o'clock time, I think it's, I don't know, 2 o'clock. What were you doing as a recruiter at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
I was searching Facebook.
You were searching Facebook.
Just kidding.
I believe I was probably in a food coma or
Oh, yeah.
in the workout days. Probably just eating lunch,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Thanks for joining.
Joseph Larson, what's going on, brother?
So we'll
Thanks
give
for
it
being
a
here.
few more minutes. I'll go ahead and talk about, I just took a trip to Nashville. Last week, I was at a conference there, and Nashville is awesome. I always kind of thought it would be cool to go there, but it totally exceeded my expectations. I had so much fun.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. So I love country music. And I got to go to the Grand Ole Opry and see some concerts. And I got to go downtown in the evening, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a lot
What
of
else
fun.
was cool
I
there?
can't wait to go back. Well, I spent a lot of time during the day at the conference, so I didn't get to partake in a lot of the shenanigans that I would have hoped to have been able to participate in, but it was still fun. No, Joe, I was not sick the whole time.
So
Maybe next time I go there when it's not for work, I could see how that could happen very easily. Although I did, one of the mornings we had gone downtown and some of the bars were open. It was 10:30 and I managed to.
He said that's him when he hears country music.
Yeah. I did manage to have a few drinks at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get started. Last week I was in Nashville at a business and leadership conference. And I saw the question for today, and I'm super excited about it because I think we talked about this topic at the conference quite a bit about profits and companies and earning profits. So our question for today comes from a recruiter, and the question is, I am a recruiter at an agency that has higher overhead costs than others, and we have stricter GPH requirements as well. I feel like I'm constantly being beat on pay by other agencies, but I know I'm a good recruiter. How do I get those travelers to give me a chance? Fantastic question. Thank you so much for submitting. I'll go ahead and let Adam start with why that's the case these days.
Well, so first of all, I think, it's really important to talk about how things were in the industry. So let's rewind 10, 15 years and really take a look at how the industry was.
Right.
Like, so as an agency, I mean, the benefits list was pretty short. So you know how we have that list of standard benefits that every agency offers today that we look at in 2017 and we go, holy smokes, that's a lot. Well, back in the day, that list was super short, like pretty much just the cost of compliance and your malpractice insurance. That's what you got when you traveled with an agency. That was kind of the standard.
Right.
Those were the standard benefits.
Right.
And so, what happened? Well, agencies started to survey their travelers. What can we do that would make your experience better? And
What's up, Corey?
What's up, Corey? So what do? I mean, they started taking some of that feedback from travelers, right? So travelers were saying, hey, it'd be cool if, you would reimburse for CEUs, or if you would reimburse for, the cost of the onboarding.
Right.
Compliance.
Or insurance. Insurance is really important to me as a traveler. We want better insurance plans for ourselves.
And that's still the case, right? So we still even hear some of these things, but short-term disability insurance, or we want to earn PTO, or we want to see other opportunities to earn bonuses.
Right.
And so and these are all great things. And obviously they were important to, the traveler community. And because of that, they were important to the agencies. So the agencies found ways to try and include that in their offering. And so, just kind of a value add to the service that they were providing to travelers. So all of those things, though, cost money. And so now we're here in 2017, and we have, this, again, this core list of benefits that's offered by agencies is huge. It's not even close to, that really short list that we used to have 10, 15 years ago. And it's still evolving.
Right.
I mean, there's still things being added to the benefits list. And these are good things, but they also cost money, which is what we kind of want to talk a little bit about.
And a lot of agencies put out customer service scores at the end of every year. They'll send out evaluations to their travelers. How can we provide better services? What can we do to make our travelers happier and want to stick with us? And so they listened to what the travelers wanted, and
some better than others.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
And that's one point, and we'll get into that a little bit, but yeah, some listen better than others. But, at the end of the day, the agencies, I mean, they have one way of making money, generating revenue, right? So it's every hour that a traveler works in a hospital is a billable hour, right? So that's their only source of revenue. It's not like they've got like side businesses or side hustles, right? They're not like, I don't know, they're not, selling furniture on the side or anything like that, or cable boxes. That might be a good one. But,
yeah.
So they don't have these side hustles, right? So they're generating revenue through their travelers working billable hours. One thing that's so crazy to me as a recruiter to find out, as a former recruiter to now find out, is how much money these agencies actually float.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by that? Well,
what do you mean by that? Tell us about that.
So let's say your travelers, let's say you have 100 travelers for an agency, right? And so they're all out in the field, they're working 36 hours a week, right? Well, say average bill rate, 68 to 70, somewhere around there. So that agency, are they getting paid right then?
No, they're
for
not.
Those hours?
No.
How long does it take for them to get paid for those hours? 60 to 90
days.
Maybe even 120 days before they actually get paid for those hours. A lot of times the travelers are already done with their assignment before they get their first check.
Right.
I mean, and that's an extreme end. So let's say 60 days.
Yeah. Right? So do the math on that, because you're the mathematician. So
$68, $70 bill rate, 36 hours, 100 travelers. So let's say $250,000. So $250,000 roughly
a week.
A week that they're floating. They're paying in payroll. Right. That's not even including the cost for their in-house staff. Right. Because you got to pay them too.
And it doesn't include the cost of insurance that they might be covering, premiums. Doesn't include maybe housing deposits if they're covering housing, right?
So a lot of these things that obviously as an agency, and this is a cash flow issue for agencies, of course, but it's also, a real consideration when they're looking at, how are they, building these rate calcs?
Right.
How are they going to pay their travelers? How are they going to compensate their travelers?
Right. So the original question was, just for those of you who are joining us, is, I'm a recruiter at an agency. Our company has a higher overhead than most. We have a stricter GPH requirements as well. I'm constantly being beat on pay. Me too, Rich. I'm constantly being beat on pay, but I know I'm a good recruiter. How do I get those travelers to come with my agency? So Adam just talks a lot about, okay, why? Where do those overhead costs come into play? Why are they in play? Why can some companies pay more than others, right? At the end of the day, it's profit. Earning profit isn't a bad thing. It's a smart thing. Agencies have to earn a profit to keep their businesses running. Some agencies have to earn a bigger profit than others based on how their company is laid out and based on, the benefits and the features that they offer to their travelers. So your company may have a higher overhead, but the thing you need to look at is, why is that the case? Why is that the case? Is it because your agency can offer different value than maybe the next agency? Maybe you work at a larger firm and you have more direct contracts as opposed to smaller or mid-sized agencies that work with more VMSs and MSPs. That's a huge value-added service for your travelers.
Or on the flip side, maybe you're working in a larger agency and some of that's just going in to pad the pockets of the company.
Right.
So it's not a judgment on large or small agencies. It's how is the agency investing those profits, and are they going towards, the travelers, right? I mean,
right. So I heard this analogy when I was at my conference this week, and they talked about a brick. Look at a brick, for example. Bricks are immoral.
Amoral.
Amoral. They are amoral.
Big
They
word.
can be used for good. They can be used to build a home. They can be used to build a business. They can be used to build a wall. Or they can be used to throw through someone's windshield and shatter glass, right? So profit is the same thing. It's how you use it. You can use profit for good, or you can use profit for bad. And I think the thing that you need to ask yourself as a recruiter is, what does your agency use these profits for? Are they using them for good, or are they using them to pad their own pockets? You have to believe in the value that you provide to your travelers. The one thing that a traveler is going to get from your agency that they're not going to get from any other agency on the face of the earth is you as their recruiter. So you have to find the value that you bring to the table and the value that your agency brings to the table. Don't think about it as, oh, I can't pay as much, or, you know, I'm not as good as that other agency. What about it brings value to the table? What are you doing?
That's the biggest thing. I think that, and that's in any, you know, any, let's call it a vertical, right? Let's get all technical, but travel nursing is one vertical, right? IT staffing. We've talked to different companies that function in different areas. And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, the consumer, the customer makes the decision on what's valued by them. Yes. And so, you know, some folks that are out there looking for travel positions are going to always look at, you know, what's my weekly compensation? Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing that matters. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean they're a bad traveler, you know. There's no judgment there. But there are others who value things like, you know, day one benefits.
Right.
There are those that value, you know, my agency, you know, they sent me a care package, and they, you know, they invite me into the office. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things that an agency can do, that can offer value, and everyone gets to make a choice. That's the beauty of I guess, get all technical here, but a capitalistic society, right? Like, you get to decide what's valued by you and what you invest your money in. And your turn.
Yeah. So anyways, this was a great question. I think it's a great topic. I think at the end of the day, you have to believe in what you do. And that's the case whether you're recruiting or selling cars or mowing lawns. You have to believe in what it is that you're doing, and you have to believe in the profit that you're making. You're making a profit as a recruiter, and that's not something that you should be ashamed of. You work damn hard for it, and your agencies work hard too. So don't be embarrassed or ashamed because, you know, you feel like you're earning a profit, and that's like a hush hush thing that we shouldn't talk about. Believe in what you're doing, believe in the value that you're providing, and if you don't, you know, get out there and do something else. So thank you, guys.
And to go back, one final point. I mean, really, at the end of the day, right, you're not going to close every deal. And so your value, you know, your value offering, what you bring to the table is not necessarily what is, you know, going to be shared by the person that you're talking to, that prospect or that candidate. And that's okay. But the sooner you guys can figure out whether that's the case or not, the better things can be for each one of you. So it's always great to start from that transparent, you know, from a transparency, from that transparent perspective, right? But I mean, the more honest the traveler is about what they value, the more honest, you know, the recruiter is about what they have to offer. Right. Hey, we can all cut a bunch of time out of this and just have that honest conversation and cut to the chase and see if this is going to be something that's going to benefit both parties. Right. So awesome stuff.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. Please keep your questions coming. Every Wednesday we'll be here. We love helping you guys out. Any questions
you weren't here last Wednesday.
You're right. And actually next week for our live, we're going to be down in Dallas. Adam and I are doing a ton of traveling over the next couple weeks. So we'll be down in Dallas next week. If you guys, any of you are headed to the SIE conference, stop by and say hi. Maybe we can sneak out and grab a few drinks. But yeah, keep sending your questions, and we will see you guys soon. Take care.
Awesome.
Bye.
See you guys.